that performance last night, I'm not saying he's going to do it. I doubt they would give it to him. All of a sudden, Saquon Barkley's an MVP.
Why would they not do it? Like
He's not
it takes
a
those.
quarterback.
Yeah, but it takes those types of performances and those type of stat lines to be able to get it. I mean, you look at guys like Adrian Peterson that have won it. Didn't LT win it? I believe Lawrence LaDainian won it. I think you just got to be.
I think both LTs won it.
Well, they did, that's really, really rare. We haven't seen that since him, I don't believe. Maybe Ray Lewis got it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I just think the stats that Saquon is putting up, the things that he's doing, it's that of a league MVP. I mean, I know we can look at the usual suspects, Lamar, Jackson. Who else would we throw in there? You know, like
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yeah, Josh Allen is having a fine year. I just think
Burrow you could throw in there. Unfortunately, they're just
not doing well.
Yeah,
team's not doing well. I just listen. If I had to look at it, Josh Allen, that's a real. He's a real one. Like if they gave it to him, I wouldn't be offended by it. Lamar Jackson is kind of like I teeter on it, even though I think he is playing some amazing football. I teeter on it. And Saquon Barkley has clearly had the biggest impact on a team out of any player in the National Football League. I don't teeter on that. But does that make him the MVP? It's almost like the conversation we were having about Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. Well,
do you guys want the MVP odds?
Let's get them.
Yeah. So why don't you take a guess where our friends at DraftKings have Saquon Barkley currently listed for the MVP?
Like fourth?
Ooh, close, but that's actually Jared Goff at plus 650.
Dang. All right.
I'll say third.
Okay. Something tells me Jonas might have known this beforehand, but yes.
At least I played along.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll say
plus
third.
500. All right. 5-1 Saquon Barkley is in third place as of right now, given the odds, to win the NFL MVP. Josh Allen's at plus 150, Lamar Jackson at plus 275. To you guys' point, though, I do think it might take like performances like last night, which is pretty rare in the NFL. But if he does this again, I think he's going to climb his way into that conversation in a more legitimate fashion.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with how the team ends up going down the stretch as well, right? I mean, we mentioned Joe Burrow. He's having such a fine year, but the team doesn't really give him their lack of success doesn't really give them the opportunity for him to get the recognition that he's deserving of. When you look at what this Eagles team is doing, they're surging in they're trending in such a positive direction. It's almost like if they stay healthy and they continue to play the way that they're playing, because what's going on right now is this offensive line. I know if you guys were probably listening to the telecast of it all, but I guess they were talking about how during the break that the O-line all huddled up and went and saw the coach and said, look, let's get back to what we do. Let's get back to who we are. Let's get back to the identity of who we are as a team, and that is beating people the hell up front and running the ball. And if that offensive line, as good as they are and as massive as they are and as nasty as they are up front, if they can stay healthy and continue to play with that type of just determination and what it is that they do, that commitment to opening up those holes, the things that Saquon Barkley can do, there's only a handful of backs that we've seen in the history of the game. Not just now in current football. The things that he's able to do, there's only been a handful of guys that can make the cuts and shift and quickness and change of speed and change of direction and everything that comes along with it. He's strong. He's got great balance. His vision is really good. These were the things we saw him doing in New York. It's not new. This is not something that's new.
Not to this level, I don't think.
Listen,
he's already got more rushing yards than he ever had.
The success level. I mean, he's doubled what he was averaging in New York with what he's doing right now. But the things that I'm not saying the amount of statistical, categories and what his numbers are.
His
I'm
impact.
saying that there you go. The things he does. Yeah, man.
I think the difference, though, too, is like it's not the same offensive line.
It's not.
No, to sit there and say if he's in New York, he'd be doing this. It's like, well, probably not. I mean, they can't run the football quite as well. He's not protected as much with some of the wide receivers that they have in Philly. So you can't necessarily – I mean, teams are going to start loading the box to stop him in the run game, even though he's effective too out of the backfield catching the football. But there's also protection for the wideouts they have. If you want to load up the box, okay, go do it. You have to deal with guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Yeah, you have to deal with some of that potential. So it's a different problem, I think, in Philly than it would have been in New York.
100%. 100%. And listen, I'm not saying that, again, would New York be a better team with Saquon Barkley? Yes. Would they be a team that's winning? Who knows? Probably not. Probably not. If they were this close to tanking, they probably did Saquon Barkley a favor by letting him go. I mean, let's be real here. With the way they're looking, they did him a favor. Now, with that being said, you hit it spot on. This is a team that's going in the right direction, and they don't even have everybody on the field yet. Like they are looking like a tremendously balanced team, and right now they're missing Smith. Like they get him back. I feel like Dotson it's there. Like that opportunity for him is there. If they start loading up this box to try to stop Saquon, you got Brown, you got Smith, and you got Dotson that's out there on the edges, and you got a tight end. To me, they're so balanced. They're so balanced that now you look at a guy like Jalen Hurts and you say, all you got to do is hand the ball off and let him cook. Let Saquon cook. You don't have to do anything really crazy that would lead to you getting injured. Because I think that if he gets injured, as much as he's taken maybe a back seat in terms of having to do it on the ground that he's done in the past, that's put him in harm's way to get injured, he doesn't have to do that anymore. And so if he stays healthy and these receivers can stay healthy, I think it all comes down to if they can stay healthy. This might be one of, 2 or 3 teams in the NFC that I would say can stand up to what Detroit is doing.
I think I saw the number last night somebody threw out that he would – do you guys think it's possible the rest of the way Saquon Barkley, yards from scrimmage, could average 143 yards from scrimmage a game?
Average, no.
That'd be tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
It'd be tough.
Possible.
Too many teams are going to adjust or adapt and take him away.
So,
they're not going to allow him to beat him.
So he's at 1,600 and change. The all-time record is Chris Johnson at 2,509. I mean, the fact that it's even, you're kind of kicking it around and thinking about the possibility just shows you he's been fantastic, man. And the guy's averaging over 6 yards a carry. So, like, the offensive line with losing Jason Kelce last night just completely
imagine if they had
the
Jason Kelce with Saquon Barkley. Might not even be fair.
Like, it reminds me of Ashton Genty, to where like you're having the discussion about him as a Heisman Trophy candidate, and it's like, well, like he's their guy. Like he was in a duel.
Is this a college football reference?
Well, no, I'm
Jonas?
just okay. There you go. Yeah.
I'm just saying, is this a college football reference from Jonas?
Whatever. Listen, tell those guys.
I just know some of our listeners feel like Jonas does not like college football. I've told them, I'm like, dude, he does.
All right.
He gambles on it and loses on it all the time.
Must be from all that
is
cornbread.
true. I guess.
But
you look at it, you go, they could just rely. They don't even have to really. They could throw the ball a little bit. But you've got Devontae Smith, who's out, as you mentioned. A.J. Brown not having the same year that he's had in years past. They just rely on Saquon Barkley. And the MVP discussion, although relevant and worthy of it, it feels like this is exactly why the Offensive Player of the Year award exists. So that it gives them a bailout that the guy who doesn't win the MVP will just throw him the OPOY.
Sure.
Just like they did Cooper Kupp.
That's always the next guy up. It's the non-quarterback.
So like
how many times do you see a quarterback win that award?
Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even.
I don't ever really see a quarterback win it.